How's it going, everyone? Matt Leighton, welcome back to another real estate video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. You know, I'm used to telling you guys mistakes to avoid, things to do, things not to do when you're buying a house. But, you know, recently it's a lot of like, you should do this, you should do that, don't do this, don't do that. And what I want to do in this video is kind of pull back the curtains and share some mistakes that I've made and that I do. Guys, I'm not perfect. Your fearless leader occasionally does make mistakes. So in this video, I want to go through 6 mistakes as a new agent and sometimes even today that I find myself making. This video is going to be a little bit different, change of scenery. I'm out here on my balcony. I got my lavalier microphone. Hopefully that will help with the noise. There's going to be some airplane traffic, some cars. Guys, I'm in the city. I'm in Roslyn. A lot's going on here. So let's jump right into the top 6 mistakes that as a new agent I was making. The first mistake I made as a newer agent is not following up. You know, when I first started my career, this is before YouTube, right before I even started making videos, I did a lot of leases. I still do some leases now, but I was doing only leases then, and it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I would go around, see it a bunch of different places. I loved the inventory. I loved doing it. Eventually, my clients, they would sign a lease. They'd write me a glowing review. And I would help them, you know, on the walkthrough inspection and make sure that they love their place. And then they wouldn't hear from me. And in my mind, you know, I thought, well, they left me a glowing review. They obviously liked me as a person. They liked working with me. So they'll reach out if they need anything. And this couldn't be further from the truth. So what ended up happening was, you know, 11 months into their lease, I would reach out to them and say, hey, you know, I loved working with you guys. Hope you've enjoyed the condo. Let me know if you need anything, you know, at your next place. And they would respond with, oh, thanks for checking in. We're so excited. We finally just closed on our new house. And I'm like, closed on your, like, what just happened here? You used me in the past, you liked me, and now you've gone out and you've bought a house without me? Like, how could they do that to me? And it was such like a foreign concept to me, but as you're probably hearing in my words, I was thinking about it completely the wrong way. And my broker took me aside one day and was like, Matt, you gotta be following up with these people like every single month, every couple weeks. And I was like, no, I don't. That's so dumb. Like, who would do that? They'll use me when they use me. They'll follow up with me. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So not following up was the first mistake. Nowadays, I send clients emails on a weekly basis. I'm friends with them on Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm commenting on their Instagram posts. If they are even within my sphere, they know what I do and I'm reaching out to them. Because even my friends, you know, they're buying houses and they might have told me a year ago that they were interested. And I would think, okay, in a year, I'll reach out to them. So a year goes by, I don't say anything, and they're moving into their new house. It was a total bonehead rookie mistake on my part, not following up. The second mistake as a new agent is giving half answers. What do I mean by half answer? Well, what I mean is, you know, if the property is a condo and someone asks, you know, does this have an extra storage unit? Oh, I think it has an extra storage unit, or it might have an extra storage unit. There's no thinking, there's no might involved. It either has one or it doesn't. And you know, as I was coming up with this video, I was thinking to myself, why? Why did I give these half answers? Why couldn't I just say, let me get back to you? Well, as a younger agent, you know, I always had a chip on my shoulder. I had something to prove, and I wanted to let the client know that I knew the inventory, I knew everything about the property. And while that may be true, you're never gonna know every little detail about the property. So it's okay to say, let me get back to you on that one, or I'm not sure, I want to give you a better answer, I'll follow up with you. Now obviously, if they ask you the price or the square feet and you say, I'm not sure, let me follow up with you, well, you know, you're not going to be their agent for long. But for the very specific details, don't say, yeah, I think it does, or yeah, it might. This is like a huge investment for the clients. They're buying a house, they're leasing a property. You shouldn't be given half answers. Don't let your ego get in the way of saying, you know, that's a great question. I don't have a good answer for you right now. I want to get a good answer, and I'm going to follow up with that. So giving half answers is a definite big mistake in my early real estate career. Third mistake, and I'm going to take a page out of Jocko Willnick's book, actually the title of the book. It's called Extreme Ownership. I'll list and link the book in the description below. I'm reading it now on Audible. I'm listening to it on Audible. It's a great book. And it reminded me of a situation. Basically, the point of extreme ownership is it's all about leadership. If you are the leader, you are in charge, you are in control, and everyone below you, all your subordinates, you're in control of their actions too. So anything that goes right, you know, great job for the leader. Anything that goes wrong, the leader needs to take control of that issue, and it's the leader's responsibility to correct it. And the issue that I was thinking about was this problem that happened a few years back where the title company missed something in the contract and the seller's agent missed something in the contract. So I told my client, said, hey, we have a big problem here. The title company screwed up. This is what happened. And honestly, guys, it's taken me a few years to realize that it was all my fault. It was my mistake. I was the one that wrote the contract. Yeah, obviously, I sent it to the seller. I sent it to the seller's agent. I sent it to the buyer. I sent it to all different parties, and no one caught this mistake. But at the end of the day, I'm the one in charge. I'm the leader. And if I can't take responsibility for the transaction, you know, I'm going to be the one that's celebrating and popping bottles when it goes right. But if I can't take that responsibility and I shirk off the blame to someone else, how does that make me look? Well, not like a good leader, that's for sure. So whether it's something small or something large, as the real estate agent, you're in charge of that transaction, and you need to take extreme, complete ownership of everything that happens in that real estate transaction. The fourth mistake as a new agent was confidence. You know, I started my career at 23 years old, which, you know, I thought was young. Some people, you know, started a little bit younger. But I was doing a lot at 23. I was doing a lot of business, and people were telling me, "Oh, you're such this, you're such that. Like you're starting so young. You know, you're doing so good." And they were telling me that, but I wasn't believing it. I wasn't believing in myself, and that confidence was really limiting where my income potential, my growth potential was going. Because, you know, as a younger agent, I thought that I could only do a certain amount of dollar value. I thought I could only lease out a certain number of properties, or I thought there was a cap, like, oh, that property is for the more experienced agents, or oh, that property is for those type of agents. And in my head, that's only where that existed. I was creating storylines in my head and limiting my abilities. If you don't believe it yourself, oh man, you're in for a rough ride. So learning and having and building that confidence, that took way too long for me. But now that I have it, I'm so thankful that I have it, because most people go through the day with like zero confidence and they set internal limitations, and that is so toxic. So whether you're selling $100,000 properties in Iowa or $1 million condos, you know, in DC, you got to have that confidence that every single deal is going to be that $1 million deal. If it's not the $1 million deal, then you're treating their clients like it is a $1 million deal with the white glove service. So be sure to have that confidence, because I know when I was starting my career, I certainly did not. The fifth mistake as a new agent that I was having was I was saying yes to every single opportunity that came my way. Now, this might sound like a good thing. Oh, you're a new agent, you need business, you gotta say yes to things. And I had a mentor, and I was saying yes to him, but I was also saying yes to business opportunities that just didn't make financial sense. And what I mean by this was saying yes to leasing a property, you know, 30-minute drive away from me, where best case scenario is I'm making $300 and I'm putting in like 6 hours and spending a lot of time, and it just didn't make a lot of sense. And guys, you're always going to hear those stories of, oh, I did a lease for $200 and then they had a friend and they bought $1 million house the year later. And those exist, and I assure that you should always try to keep building your business. And for me, it's not about the money. I focus on the service and the value that I'm bringing first. Anyone who's met me can see right through that and knows how transparent I am about the service and value that I provide. But at the same time, the reason that this is on the list, saying yes to everything, is because literally what I was doing is spreading myself so thin where I was driving 30 minutes away in all sorts of different directions that I didn't want to be driving in, to these lower properties where, since I was spreading myself so thin, I didn't have a lot of free time to grow and to learn. You know, I was doing these one-off deals, and because I wasn't following up with these clients, you know, it's $200 here, it's $500 there, which, you know, as a 23-year-old is pretty good because those add up pretty quickly. But it was kind of a dead-end road, and I was like, what am I doing with my life? You know, I remember sitting in my car in Manassas one time, and I just got done showing like 10 places. I was like, is this what real estate like really is? And the thing that I like about real estate is you have the power to have your own clients. So now I have the confidence and the ability to say, hey, what you're looking for, it's not, you know, my area of expertise. I'd be happy to set you up with an agent that can service what you're looking for. So I don't want to be pompous and, you know, say everything is below me, but at the same time, I think I can still try to set the client up with a good agent that specializes in that area of expertise, because the last thing I want to do is to give half value, is to not give my all for something that's further away or a lower price point. So saying yes to everything is a thin line. You know, you gotta be careful. It can work in your favor if you're building your sphere and you're actually following up and networking, but be careful because you can also spread yourself way too thin. And then guys, I'm gonna finish it up with this. Number 6 is expecting immediate results. You know, hey, listen, I watch HGTV as well. I see the $1 million listing agents. I see them wearing the flashy suits. So I got my license and I thought they were gonna call me like right afterwards. Let me tell you that it doesn't happen, right? I thought I would get my license and I'd be selling $1 million condos, and I've sold a few, but it doesn't happen immediately. Literally everything I've worked up to this point, like now 5 years in the industry, I've had some deals that have lasted like 4 years and some relationships that I'm building. So it's never gonna happen immediately. It's just gonna be like a long grind. And there's always gonna be the agents that get their license, go to their local country club, and, you know, somehow have like a couple $1 million listings immediately. Like, that's just not me. And if you're a real estate coach watching this, you might say, oh, well, you need to get a country club membership and go network. And listen, that's just not me. That's not who I'm gonna be. I've refined my style and what I wanna be. I wanna be a listing agent in Arlington, in Roslyn. And if you see a map of where I do my business, you're gonna notice that a lot of it's in Northern Virginia, a lot of it's in Arlington, and a lot of it is from Ballston to Roslyn along Arlington's Orange Line Metro Corridor. And that's what I'm gonna do for a very long time. And my why, the reason I do that is because this is my home, this is where I live, and this is what I'm passionate about. And I'm gonna provide so much value, more value than any other real estate agent in the game, that the money is gonna follow. I have some friends that are in real estate, they're just in it for the money. And, you know, they're driving fancy cars, they're wearing nice watches, and they're successful, but when you meet them, they're in it for the money, and you can tell. And I never want to be that way. I'm in it for the long haul, and I hope if you're a real estate agent, listen, if you're new, you can take these mistakes, learn from them. If you see yourself going down one of these roads, you can maybe take a step back. And if you're a client, listen, I'm not perfect, but I do like to look in the mirror every now and then and realize what I'm doing wrong, and areas of improvement. So listen, I hope this video was helpful. 6 mistakes as a new real estate agent. We got the plane flying overhead. Luckily, I spent a lot of money on Amazon on this lavalier microphone, so you can enjoy crispy audio. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, create a productive day. Take care.